속, 안. Both of these mean inside. And if you want the very quick answer for what's the difference, well, the very quick answer is just use either one. They both mean inside of something. However, if you want to sound more natural, you can't just do that. Keep watching, I'll tell you how each is used. But first, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, my Patreon members, of course, and my channel supporters. You are the reason that I can keep making videos like these. You are keeping this channel going. And if you are watching and you're not a supporter of me, check out the links in the description box below for how you can join. I really appreciate it, and I'm working on some new projects. I have some new videos coming out. I can't spoil everything yet, but if you're on my Patreon page, you might know what's coming up. So thank you for your support. So these words are both used to mean inside of an object. So if you're just trying to say like inside of something, that can also include inside of your body, use either 속 or 안, and you're going to be fine. However, if you can use either one to say inside of a bag, if you can use either one, 안 is going to be the more common choice. It just tends to get used more often. And that's usually why most learners learn this first before 속, just because it gets used in more situations. Again, so if you want to say that something's inside of a bag or like inside of a suitcase or whatever, some sort of container, use either one. So let's talk about the first one. 속 can be used to say that something isn't just in, but within a situation. So something that's going on. And this is going to be a theme with using 속, you'll see. It tends to get used a lot to mean inside when what it's inside isn't physically inside of something. So just keep that in mind. So you might have 난세 속에 등장한 영웅. 영웅 is a hero that 등장하다 is to emerge, to come out within the troubled times. So maybe like a hero rises in times of chaos, that sort of expression. So you can't use 안에 to mean that sort of situation. Another thing that 속 can be used for that 안 cannot is to mean deep inside. And this also has a lot of uses. You can say deep inside of like a forest, or deep inside of a mountain. A way to help you kind of understand that better is imagine that it's being surrounded by whatever it's deep inside. For example, I said like deep inside the mountains. So if you were to say like 산속, don't just think of it as being like, you're not inside, literally inside of the dirt in the mountain. You're surrounded by mountains. So in that way, it's deep within the mountains. Or maybe the word 숲속, which is from 숲, meaning forest. So it's not that you're like inside of the trees actually, but it's you're surrounded by trees. Or another way you might see it used is inside of fruit, because it's not like you're inside of the fruit, like it's not your room, but you're surrounded by fruit. So maybe like 사과 속, like the inside of an apple, meaning you're surrounded by the apple. Another usage is for saying something inside of our bodies, and by that, it's actually used just to mean your stomach. So if you hear someone use 속, not like something 속, like not inside of something, but just the word 속 by itself, what they're referring to is stomach. So if you're feeling sick, but you know it's your stomach, instead of saying 아파요, I am sick, you would actually say 속이 안 좋아요. So you can use 좋다 or 안 좋다 to mean that your insides are good or bad, referring to how your stomach feels. Or what if you ate a lot of greasy food? Well, then you can say your 속 is 느끼하다, and you can conjugate this. 느끼하다 means to be like greasy. Maybe you ate like a ton of cheese or something like that. So I feel like, oh, I've had too much greasy food. And finally, it's used for saying deep inside of several concepts. I'll give you some examples, like your 마음, so like your heart or your mind, your 가슴, so your chest, maybe your 머리, so deep inside of your head, or your 기억, your memory. So kind of like saying in my mind, and you wouldn't be able to say this with 안. So let me clear this off and let me give you a quick example. You can say like 가슴 속, like within my chest. 깊이, deeply, 기억하다, to remember, 기억할게요. So I'll remember it deeply in my chest. Now, there's also one more thing that you need to keep in mind. Because 속 is used to mean that it's surrounded by something, you could not use it for something that's empty. Like if there's nothing that it could possibly be surrounded by, you wouldn't use 속. While it works for bags or other small containers like that, for larger things where there's mostly air, you're not really surrounded by anything, you would use 안 instead, like a building. You wouldn't say that someone is inside of their car or inside of a house or an office building using 속, because that kind of has the feeling like, you know, they're surrounded by something, not just that they're inside of it. So for larger objects, or to say that someone is at some place, use 안 instead of 속. Okay, back to 안 though, because I said that 속 has all these special meanings, but 안 also has a special meaning. This can be used to mean within an amount of time, while 속 cannot. So if you were to say something like 3일 안에, within 3 days, but you couldn't say 3일 속에, that wouldn't make any sense. A lot of beginners misuse this, and I used to misuse it too when I was a beginner. This does not mean in, like we say in. If we say in 3 days in English, what do we really mean? We actually mean after 3 days, right? From 3 days. Like if I say I'll see you in 2 hours, that means after 2 hours, I'll see you. In Korean though, 안 actually means within that time. So if you were to say you're going to meet someone in an hour, it actually means less than an hour, not after an hour like we might think of it in English. So again, it means in or within as in contained within. Okay, so where have you most recently seen either of these words used? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members for supporting this channel, and I'll see you again right here in another video. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.